Hello everyone, this is a Real Talk Show. Welcome back again. Today we have a panelist that we're going to talk about the state that is currently we're in as Kenyans, and we're going to delve into the problem that we have in front of us currently trending. One of them being the killings and the extrajudicial killings that we have, the abductions and the cover-ups and the follow-ups also, because there are also some positive things that we need to talk about, but much into the problem being the negative. I want to welcome you again here to RTS TV. This is the only show that belongs to you. This is where we change the dreams into realities and we communicate with real people to show the reality out. Welcome and welcome back all. We give time to our panelists to introduce themselves. We will start by the gentleman on the left on the right to start by the introduction. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir. This is Mheshimiwa Adanur Mohamed Suleiman. It is not the first time for me to appear on this RTS TV. Thank you for the time, and I really appreciate, and I won't take this for granted. My name is Adanur Mohamed Suleiman, MCA aspirant and the word a political analyst. Thank you.
Okay, I'm equally called Abdulkhalik Khadan Abdurrahman. People know me with Talia. I'm a co-host at the RTS Real Talk Show TV. At the same time, TikTok influencer. Thank you.
Wonderful. To begin with, Mheshimiwa Adanur, we are currently, let's say, the state we are in as a country. We have seen many killings. Across the country, there is no greener part of this country because everybody everywhere is crying. And the current killings that touched all over across the globe is the killings of one Albert Ojwang. And this shows that there's continuous torture that is supported as it appears to the public. And this killing happened in police custody. And as it goes, we are told that there is investigation going on for some time, and it is now almost a week when this started. Relating this to what happened before the killings of the honorable member from Homa Bay, from the Kasipul constituency.
Kasipul, yes.
And how the investigation went. Is there any comparison, and when it comes to the killing from the political class and from the citizen, is there any comparison, and you can say everybody is equal in this country as what you can see?
As I'm responding to that question, I've done a lot of investigation concerning the extrajudicial killings which is ongoing currently, starting with the death of the member of parliament by the name Kasipul constituency. Whatever is going on is wrong, and we don't really agree or concur with that, because Kenya being a democratic country, each and every citizen has his or her own right, whereby we are allowed to freely demonstrate and also riot. That's one of the basic and fundamental rights of every citizen in this country. There is no constitution that says we have no limitation to freedom anytime. And our leaders who are now currently leading the country, starting from the presidency, the office of the presidency must give enough time for the citizens to respond, hold the government accountable, and respond immediately to the actions of the citizens, especially the Gen Zs who are now on the street rioting about the extrajudicial killings which is now going on. It's wrong, and I don't really agree with the government. Whatever the government is doing is wrong. And to me, from my point of view, I'm sending this information to the current government in place, the government of His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. We are the Gen Zs. We are the people with power. We are the voice on the ground, and our right must be respected. So we don't allow any more bloodsheds to continue in the country, because whatever happened was wrong and we really don't conquer. Concerning the police who took the Albert Ojwang, that was not the right decision for them. It's very unfortunate that we lost that person. He's one of us, and he's one of the Gen Zs who was in the front line fighting for the rights of the people, and that was wrong. So my information is to the people in power: we are the voice of the ground, and we should not accept such abductions to continue in this country, because Kenya is a democratic country, na hiyo kitu ndio tunajivunia, and we are proud of our country. We can talk and speak, we can criticize. Criticism is allowed, so there is nothing much to be done. When we criticize, is one way of holding our leaders accountable, and criticism is part of politics, and it must be allowed. People should not be killed based on the criticism that was posted on social media like Facebook and TikTok, because when we are criticizing, that is one way of holding our government accountable, and it's accepted. So any killings that happen following criticism is wrong, and we condone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To you, over to you, Talia.
First of all, thank you for this question, my brother, Mr. Moha. And let me start or begin by, sending my condolences to the family of Ojwang. I know it's a painful moment. It is really not very easy to lose a loved one. My condolences to the family of Ojwang and after them. On this issue of abduction, I think it is now taking turn of events, and this now becoming part of the system. Since this government came into place, the issue that is ringing into our ears and and in front of the public and both the local and international media is all about abduction, and then if you go beyond this abduction, you will get to the show that the reason being some of these youth who are abducted, or anyone who is abducted, is being is being tortured, because of probably taking their part in this government, how this government is operating. You will see, if I compare the issue of abduction against the response from the ground, it is two-way different. Because when things like this or abduction issues happen, there is a way the ordinary people on the ground understand and see, and then there is a way the government is taking their own side. You will see that the government always is always taking a side to defend their actions, and all the same, the opposition on the other side is taking another side, and then the public on the ground, especially the ordinary people, and more so the youth on the ground, taking also another side. It is indeed very, 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 very bad for a whole government in place always being blamed for being abducting youth and anyone contradicting their own ways of governing the country. It is really very sad to see this government being blamed always for the abduction of young people. And what is very funny is that after abducting them, the government always distance themselves from this issue. At times even you will see that there is evidence that the government is involved, and all the same the government always stand on the podium protecting themselves from this issue. I think the government should rise above this and be a government that should be praised by the people on the ground, because this is the government by the people, and let them at least take a stand whereby we can say now this is a government by the people and the people trust it.
Wonderful. Thank you for your contribution, and that is really, really appreciated.
To add little on that concerning the death of Albert Ojwang, we have seen there's nothing much that has been done by the government. There was no serious measures that was put in place on what happened and who caused the death. And we have not seen a serious action that was taken against the killer of Albert Ojwang. And that is what is telling us that the government is not serious about his death. That is what is showing us that the government is not serious about the citizens. This is the life of a youth, an energetic man in this country, whom we expect to take lead in the country. Next, he is now the future of this country. When the future of youth is not defended in this country, it means the country has lost its direction. Youth must be respected and protected, and therefore the part that is involved in the death of the Albert Ojwang should be held accountable. Any officer who is involved should be, there must be a serious action that should be taken against them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When we go back again to the same scenario of Albert Ojwang as it is going on, we have seen that the parliament, the Senate, called for the proceedings where the presence of the Interior Minister, the IG and the DCI and the IPOA are present. And we have watched the video. We have seen how these agencies that are there to protect the citizens were being cornered because of the evidence that is so conspicuous and can be seen by the citizen without even going further into the investigation. Is this a public shame to the country or to the government only in the eyes of the world?
To respond in the same line with the question, as we are speaking right now, the Gen Zs are now on the ground. They are now demonstrating. They are now rioting. There is smoke all over the CBD town. So it's not a good picture for the government of Kenya to be seen worldwide practicing such kind of illegalities in the hands and in the face of the entire nation. This should be a government whereby people should be proud of and say that this is the government we belong and this is the kind of government we deserve. It is now irony and it is now betrayal because we are the one behind this government. We are the one who elected this government of His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Literally, it's irony to find that when the government came into power, the only feedback we are getting is to betray us, to kill us, and it's a shame that the government is not doing what we expect of it.
Let me just increase the quality of the question. Muhesh have answered it very well. We have seen Al Jazeera and CNN publishing this news across the world, which means these are the the news medias that are seen across the world, globally popular. Can these appear to be a shame to this country in your views?
Thank you. Actually, to be sincere, it is very shameful for a whole country, a country that is democratically in place, a country where the president is democratically elected, and if you see how the Senate made their emergency session to assess this issue or even interrogate this. You will see the questions raised against the players in this issue, like the IG of the police, the CS Murkomen, and then the IPOA vice chair, plus anyone also involved in this circle. The questions raised against them by the politicians and the answers they are giving and the prior notice they've given, the press briefing they first gave to the public, where the police spokesman said, that a particular deceased person, Mr. Ojwang, met his death by hitting his head on the wall, and then at the same time after interrogation where the autopsy, the government pathology, the private pathology came in to investigate, to do this research, it came out that everything was all playing the game back, like what the government spokesman, the police spokesman said wasn't right, and it was all recorded and in front of the media internationally or even both local and international. At the same time, the questions raised, one of the questions raised against the DCI boss when they were interrogated by the politicians, especially the senators, He was asked why, the police who are, the regular police who are, on duty that particular night were dismissed from the service. At the same time, the officers from the DCI are still in the service, and including, the prime suspect into this issue, who is at the same time the complainant, is still serving. They didn't give sufficient answers to these questions. They were all hitting around the bush with no, very good, result to those issues, and that equally turns the country into shame, whereby international media are watching us, and then the answers those leaders and those leaders of those leaders in the security racket have given to the public was, limping, and it wasn't good for the country. It really shamed us as a country.
Wow, wonderful. When we have seen the interrogation in the parliament and the interrogation in the Senate, we have seen the inconfidence in the leadership of the security agencies, and even inconfidence in the leadership that's supposed to investigate the police, that is IPOA. We have realized that the IG of police diving the question towards the IPOA and the DCI, where the DCI again kicking back the question again back to IG. There was somehow, self-defense in the interrogation, as it were, in the parliament. Do you believe in this process when these guys who are conducting these investigations are friends who are out there even before this happened, and realization being there that such investigation end up in vain always? Someone dies and we do investigation, and the investigation expired in the process. Do we still have the mentalities that Albert Ojwang will get justice as per the things that we are realizing continuously?
Thank you for the question. It's very unfortunate that we lack transparency in the whole system. We don't have that trust. Whatever kind of whoever whichever chapter are now taking investigation. We really don't trust them. It's like these people are now in conjunction. They must be connected in one way or another. It's like the whole system are now, the government is now protecting itself. DCI and the security are now in one line. It's now like a war whereby the government is taking all means to defend itself. Whereby we as the citizens of Kenya are now in another line, whereby we are all in totality demanding for the rights and we are now demanding for the justice to be done in line of the Albert Ojwang. We are not contented. So it's now upon the government to come back to reality from the slumber. We don't see any kind of seriousness going on from the side of government. It is high time that the government should respect the voice of the youth, the voice of the citizens on the ground, and take to listen to whatever the ground is saying.
One, over to you, Tali, the same question.
Well, first of all, to be sincere and precise enough, the stability of this country majorly, stands on the military, the NIS, and the DCI. I know these three of different departments. And then it is very unfortunate to see one of the respected department in the country that should have been, very, serious about everything that happens in this country. A department whereby, the public should have a lot of trust in it, is now turning to be, a cottage where play games are, acted. By this I mean, on the issue of Albert Ojwang that recently happened. I know so many of these kind have happened in the recent times. But when we come to this issue, I think the same department that has been trusted by the people of this country is now becoming, a department where the country might not be having full trust in it. It is very unfortunate to see the DCI department, distancing itself from this issue, whereby the officers, according to the information outside, who were sent to go, and arrest Albert Ojwang, who are officers from the DCI department. And it is very unfortunate to see the DCI boss, after being interrogated by the Senate, the answers he could give is that, my officers are very clean into this issue. They brought, Mr. Albert Ojwang alive and kicking to the station. And then it was very clear, the DCI boss said in front of the camera that we should blame the OCS for, Nairobi Central, the boss for Nairobi Central Police Station as the prime suspect to this issue. At the same time, the OCS, from Nairobi Central Police, we've seen his statement before all this interrogation started, where he said that Albert was brought to his station while in bad state. He asked the officers to take him to hospital for treatment, and after that he will be admitting him. He said that the officers refused, and threw him into the cell, and when it is very unfortunate to see high offices, department where the people of Kenya should have trusted, are like playing games when things happen in broad daylight, and everyone is sufficient with the answers, whereby the players into these issues are all known. So it is very unfortunate to see the DCI and the department of DCI to be not very specific. At the same time, the National Police Service from the IG also not specific. At the same time, the CS also. It is very unfortunate for this country, and it should have been, it should have been happened.
Still on you, Talia. These agencies been there. The IPOA, the Independent Investigative Authority that's supposed to investigate police. There was a member of parliament that said it has turned to a very toothless authority that is very weakened. That is weakened by its activities as it appears. They are doing nothing that was being required from them, because there was no such serious investigation that ever happened in this country, where young Kenyan died. Many people died. Such a case that was many girls that was being found in Kware, and there was a news that came up today in the morning that a Nairobi-based technician arrested for allegedly tampering with the CCTV system in Central Police Station. Now, is this a movie? Can we believe in this system at all?
Well, thank you. I think it is very hard for Kenyans to believe in all these departments, including the IPOA. That is why even after the vice chair for IPOA in front of the Senate, when being interrogated, gave a full details of the information, plus all the officers who were sent to the ground to arrest Albert Ojwang, that at first the people were asking for, the public on the ground were all asking who are these officers who were sent to arrest. Anyway, the vice chair for IPOA in front of the Senate committee named all those officers. There were 2 sergeants leading the team, and then there were junior officers with them. All the names were there in the media. At the same time, when the IPOA through that vice chair were asked on their part of this whole drama, the vice chair gave a clear statement on this, where they have also told the public and Kenyans that they've started the investigation from the person who interfered with the CCTV at the Nairobi Central Police Station, to the officers involved, to hospital, to where that disease was placed in the samples and everything. But all the same, I don't think if Kenyans trust them, because they've lost full trust in all the system, and I don't think, and even as the government and the Senate and both, the National Assembly will pave way for the IPOA to investigate this and bring the full, information after the investigation. Kenyans are still, very naive about this. They will still don't believe in the outcome. At the moment, you will see that the Kenyans on the ground be like, already this IPOA is part of the system, and they still believe that the outcome of this result won't be sufficient enough and won't be very very interesting to them. That is why Kenyans have at the moment, I think, if you look at the Kenyans on the ground and how the system or the government is running, you will see the people on the ground have lost full interest into this whole system. So it will be very difficult for Kenyans to even believe the outcome from the IPOA.
Thank you. Wonderful. To you, Mheshimiwa Nur, we have realized and we have been told and we have seen that the person, the complainant, is a senior person in the police service who is named publicly, Mr. Eliud Langat. And we know, and we still know that he is still free, being the main person about, the complainant, the main complainant. And everybody is, alleging that he's the one who made the order of the arrest of one Albert Ojwang. How do you think that the person whose name come very early as one suspect is still moving free, while the person, the life is lost, there was a murder, a torture, how the young, the young Ojwang was being killed very seriously. How do you think Mr. Langat feels when he listened to the father of Ojwang, when he sees how Kenyans are painfully going out and demonstrating about this? Do you think that there's a sense of humanity that comes to this Langat heart and say when he did mistake, if he were to accept that he is the complainant?
The issue of Mr. Langat not being in jail right now is a great mistake that the government have ever done. So the best possible solution is that the killer, someone who ordered the police, Mr. Langat, should be in jail right now. That is what we as Gen Zs we want to see, that there must be a serious action taken against him. We don't want to see him free.
Sorry to cut you short. Just a follow-up. Is the information, the evidence that we have from the information that is being published out there is enough that the killer or the main character is Langat?
Yeah, it's a very clear information that we already have the killer. That's why we are already having his name appearing. It is nobody else but Mr. Langat.
Now, why do you think that Mr. Langat is still, leave alone walking free? Why do you think that Langat is still in office?
It means whatever happened in the interest of the government. Because if anything that happened illegally without the permission of the government, this person must have been in jail right now. That's why that person is still walking around, not sacked. You see? So, as I said earlier, there must be conjunction with whatever is happening with government. So, this is now like a deal. So, we don't need to blame Mr. Langat alone. It's a whole system. That's why we are saying that the whole government is involved in this. Because that's why they are not taking our issue serious. Yeah.
Now, why do you think that Mr. Langat is still, leave alone walking free? Why do you think that Langat is still in office?
It means whatever happened in the interest of the government. Because if anything that happened illegally without the permission of the government, this person must have been in jail right now. That's why that person is still walking around, not sacked. You see? So, as I said earlier, there must be conjunction with whatever is happening with government. So, this is now like a deal. So, we don't need to blame Mr. Langat alone. It's a whole system. That's why we are saying that the whole government is involved in this. because that's why they are not taking our issue serious. Yeah.
Wonderful. To you, Talia, let me just ask this question in this manner. Is there any chance for a police officer, when approached by a senior officer, to commit such such crime, to resist? Is there any chances that he can say, yes, my boss, I know you're my boss, but this one, no? Is there such an opportunity in police?
First of all, thank you for this question, my brother, Mr. Moha. And let me start or begin by, sending my condolences to the family of Ojwang. I know it's a painful moment. It is really not very easy to lose a loved one. My condolences to the family of Ojwang and after them. On this issue of abduction, I think it is now taking turn of events, and this now becoming part of the system. Since this government came into place, the issue that is ringing into our ears and and in front of the public and both the local and international media is all about abduction, and then if you go beyond this abduction, you will get to the show that the reason being some of these youth who are abducted, or anyone who is abducted, is being is being tortured, because of probably taking their part in this government, how this government is operating. You will see, if I compare the issue of abduction against the response from the ground, it is two-way different. Because when things like this or abduction issues happen, there is a way the ordinary people on the ground understand and see, and then there is a way the government is taking their own side. You will see that the government always is always taking a side to defend their actions, and all the same, the opposition on the other side is taking another side, and then the public on the ground, especially the ordinary people, and more so the youth on the ground, taking also another side. It is indeed very, 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 very bad for a whole government in place always being blamed for being abducting youth and anyone contradicting their own ways of governing the country. It is really very sad to see this government being blamed always for the abduction of young people. And what is very funny is that after abducting them, the government always distance themselves from this issue. At times even you will see that there is evidence that the government is involved, and all the same the government always stand on the podium protecting themselves from this issue. I think the government should rise above this and be a government that should be praised by the people on the ground, because this is the government by the people. And let them at least take a stand whereby we can say now this is a government by the people and the people trust it.
Thank you for the time. Thank you for the engagement and for the conversation.
Thank you.
We really appreciate your presence. This is RTS Real Talk Show, where we discuss the real things. We must discuss the reality, and this is the reality that we should talk about. We belong to this country, this is our country, and anything that concerns this country must concern us. Thank you, our fans. We really appreciate you, and we say don't forget to subscribe and comment and share this channel. This is the only channel that belongs to you. Real Talk siku zote.